What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. Welcome to the RNEWS morning show. And let's just jump into it. From r/news. Doctor who tweeted that she would give Jews the wrong medication loses Ohio medical certificate. Oh, I read this as Doctor Who tweeted that and I was like, she has an Ohio medical certificate. I thought she was an actress. This is why all those nerds hate her. Makes one wish that doctors had to take an oath or something saying that they wouldn't harm anyone. I took the hypocritical oath. Quote, I remember when this story first broke around a year and a half ago. She freaked up twice by lying to try and gain another residency, and claimed she left her previous position because of a death in the family. It is one thing to make amends for vile tweets you sent out almost a decade ago as a 20-year-old. People make mistakes, and should be given a chance to grow and learn. One of the worst things about social media is trying to destroy people for crap they tweeted out when they were kids or barely adults. But when she tried to cover up her past and then lied about it in an attempt to gain another residency, it was a very clear sign of her lack of character and integrity in present day. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, AOC reminds proud Latina Kim Guilfoyle that citizens of Puerto Rico are U.S. citizens. At AOC, the woman the GOP picked as their proud Latina says how immigrant experience didn't seem to know that Puerto Rico is already part of the United States. It's quite on message. DC, it reflects their belief that Latinos aren't real citizens, even when we are native descendants. It needs to be a freaking state already, but valued and wonderful U.S. citizens nonetheless. If DC and Puerto Rico become states, the GOP won't win an election for decades. Which is the reason they won't be a state until the current GOP is extinct. Puerto Rico needs to be a state already. It's the world's freaking oldest colony, for Pete's sake. It wouldn't matter to conservatives if it was. It's not political status that makes them see brown people as less than full citizens. Obama was born in Hawaii, and look how they handled that. Republicans, Hawaii, Puerto Rico equals water Mexico's. Kim and Don Jr. should have saved the cocaine for after recording their nationally broadcast rants. Convention bump. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news. Cops admit vandalizing cars of man who filed complaint against them, prosecutor says. There should be no tolerance for this sort of behavior, especially given the destruction and hatred it can inspire. Asbury Park police officer Stephen Martinson, 31, and former FLEO2 Thomas Dowling, 27, both of Asbury Park, pleaded guilty to fourth-degree criminal mischief, and as part of their plea deals they must forfeit any future public employment in the state. According to a statement from Monmouth County Prosecutor Christopher J. Gramicchione, they also face probation when they are sentenced on October 16 and must pay back the victim for the damage they caused to his cars. The office said, spiteful retaliation from law enforcement officers towards a citizen for any reason is an unacceptable option. This is in no way condoned at any level. For any reason, Gramicchione said in the statement, all members of the law enforcement community must maintain the public's trust by conducting themselves at the highest level of integrity and decency. This is beyond incredible. It's like these officers have the mentality of a 13-year-old. And then we give them guns. Skeptical smiley face. Not only do we give them guns, we built our entire society around just letting them kill whoever they want whenever they want for any, or no, reason. No mention of how these buttheads got caught. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, USPS sorting machines are still being dismantled despite DeJoy's promise to stop. So he lied to Congress. Did anyone actually believe him when he said he'd stop? No, not for a second. I want DeJoy held in contempt of Congress. The pushback against all this criminality and corruption has to start now, or else when Biden is in, you can predict that the forces in the interests of national healing and harmony will let these people off the hook. American democracy is dead if we don't punish this historic law-breaking. That's the thing, if I tamper with my neighbor's mail, I could get in big trouble. DeJoy is tampering with the mail of the country, and he's above it. I want him arrested for destruction of federal property. If it were a Confederate statue instead of sorting machines, Trump would see to it that he got 10 years minimum. What we have learned in the past 3.5 years is that you can do anything to win the election. As long as you win the election. As long as you win. You can dismantle any investigation into your asterisk wrongdoing. So why not cheat? This is how the Republicans have weighed their options. They don't care for the United States, or the average citizen. They want a class of debt slaves that are powerless to effect any change whatsoever. I work in pharmacy and just got off the phone with a guy trying to find dialysis medication because he usually gets mail order meds and they're delayed. Trump is literally going to kill people while trying to get re-elected. He already has. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Eric Trump falsely claims his father achieved Middle East peace and ended America's wars in RNC. Speech. Also said Biden is going to raise taxes on 80% of Americans. Till 80% of Americans make $400,000 plus a year. What's minimum wage nowadays? $4 grand an hour. Yay, that's about right. Can't wait to buy my third mansion. I stopped eating avocado toast and I can now suddenly afford a vacation home. I stopped drinking Starbucks and now I can afford that second yacht. My bootstraps double as a leash for my pet white tiger. I can finally afford a banana. You have $10. Might as well throw in a balanced budget. The first colony on Mars refroze the melting polar ice caps and gave everybody a pony. On that note, I can't freaking wait for my pony to arrive. He really did say Trump would take us to Mars. So, just straight up lies. That's what they are rolling with. This is why I get pissed when I see things like Trump will have a hard time at RNC. Or debates, explaining COVID-19 response. Massive unemployment. No, he won't. He will simply lie and bull crap his way through it. Over 178,000 dead and counting. It is what it is. You can't argue facts with someone who doesn't care about them. Trump is the pigeon playing chess. He'll crap on the board and strut around like he won. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. It's now illegal for Zimbabwe schools to expel pregnant girls. Or we could maybe first stop allowing children to be raped and married off. There's not a lot of sex education out there to begin with. I volunteered at a primary school orphanage in Tanzania and a lot of people there don't know simple sex ed. And the main problem is that if you get pregnant you have to leave school with no hopes of continuing your education. Baby steps. My first year in a private Baptist K-12 and I was in 5th grade. This Mexican girl got pregnant and before they expelled her at age 14 she was made to speak to the whole school about what a big mistake it was. I was young but I remember thinking how freaked up it all was. Later that year one of her teachers jumped to his death off the Cold Spring Canyon Bridge in the Santa Ynez Mountains. I always wondered about that little coincidence. What would they do if she refused to give the speech? She was already expelled. I'd wager her punishment for being the target of this abuse didn't end at school. That speech may have saved her from further extracurricular troubles. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like. And if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show and I'll see you tomorrow.